Affirmation 6. I will seek his face.
One of the blessings that I had in my life was the opportunity to go to seminary after Bible college and really after becoming more alive to the things of God. And during that time, it was great because I could just ask all these questions about Scripture and about Jesus and about how all of this comes together. And so it was a time of delving into the Scriptures. But I think what I found during that time is that I began to have more of a knowledge about God as opposed to a knowledge of God. And as I continue to deal with the things that life throws at me, I realize that it's not as important to seek the scriptures as it is to seek the one that the scriptures point to. And in our day today that we live in, there are so many distractions and dissipations and things that can pull you away. Those things have always existed, but in our modern world, it's hard to ever even escape them. I think about even last week filling up my gas at a gas station. And as I did that, a video popped up that was trying to sell me something. Even in that moment, you can't get away from the noise and the distractions of life. And yet, that's where we hear God speak. That's where God becomes real to us. I think about that passage in 1 Kings 19 where Elijah is waiting for the Lord to pass by, and this mighty wind comes, but the Lord isn't in the wind. And then an earthquake, but the Lord isn't in the earthquake. And then a fire, and still the Lord isn't in the fire. And then finally, a still, small, quiet voice. Silence and solitude have, to me, become the places where I most hear the word of the Lord and experience his presence. And as I'm still a beginner in this, I've dedicated time in the mornings, 1 hour where I shut everything off. And maybe I'll pray, maybe I'll read a scripture. Sometimes I just sit there and just listen to the silence. And then in the evening, for 1 hour, from about 9 to 10, I go into the garage and I just do nothing. I may piddle around in there, but again, it's a time that's dedicated, that's free. And then I've got the third piece here, which is the Sabbath. And I'd never taken the Sabbath serious. And to the degree that I continue to wipe things away and what I call waste time, I have experienced a renewing and a realness and a presence of Jesus in my life. And so I encourage everybody to try to step into those moments as God leads you.
Hello, my brothers and sisters. My name is Karina. I'm from Argentina, and I'm here with you today to share about the statement number 6 in the Leaders' Covenant. This statement for me, it is really relevant. It says, I will seek his face. Early in my journey with the Lord, I have found that this enter into his presence, this being dependent on him in prayer and intimacy and really personal communion is of utmost importance. I've been in this leadership position somehow for more than 20 years now. And I've encountered, probably as you have done it too, I've encountered a lot of frustration, tiredness, bitterness. Sometimes I have felt betrayed, not understood by people that I thought I was trying to lead. But this was just my way of looking at the situation that caused a lot of pain. And I thought that it was unfair until I got into his presence, until I really pursued his presence, his face. That I understood how much I'm forgiven, how much mercy he has poured out on me. And this reminds me of a Psalm 73, where the writer there struggles with people that he saw doing a lot of evil stuff and nothing happened. And he says in the verse 16, when I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me. Until I went into the sanctuary of God, then I understood. So This is how I have to remind myself of being humble, of being dependent, that I really need to go into His presence to understand not people's intentions, not what's going on, but to have His vision on the situation. Thank you very much. May God lead us to His presence more and more so we can be more Christ-like leaders.
Our Lord esteems and honors those who walk in humility and dependence on Him and who seek His face in fellowship and communion. Jesus gave us a pattern of regularly spending time alone with the Father to seek His heart and commune with Him in prayer. He did this even in the midst of many demands, pressures, and even harsh circumstances. Following Jesus' model, I want to seek Him regularly in personal communion and prayer. I know this will please Him and enable me to more align myself with Him, His ways, and His will. I also want to live within my human limits by taking regular times of rest, Sabbath, to restore my soul. I know this will mean withdrawing from the pressures of my world for periods of time. My heart is to serve Him in faithfulness all my days until He takes me home or returns in His glory. By His grace, I want to seek His face. What are some practical ways I can more align myself with Jesus on a daily basis? What are some ways I can do Sabbath? How does this affirmation challenge me? How do I experience the Lord when I intentionally seek His face? How does this affirmation make me feel?